Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. We are going to give it just a minute. I was about to comment on Discord. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you, sir. I saw a nice trade discussion developing on Discord this morning when I popped on. Was going to be making a comment. Unfortunately, I had to divert my attention to make sure everything was setting up for this, but what are you doing wrong? Fred, I see you in. Do you mean with Discord or do you mean getting in? Because you're in, you should be seeing my screen. You should be hearing my voice. I saw your comment. Doesn't look like you. A link to the library. Are you getting your emails? Are you searching for them? Because some people have told me that they've been popped back into spam or a different folder. If you're getting the emails, then the links are at the bottom of the email. I will, when we get to the end, I'll pull up an email and I'll show you where they are. But you know what I'm going to do, Fred? I'm going to reply to you here in just a second, and I'm going to send you the content library. I checked your email, Fred. They're coming, but they may be getting picked up like in a spam folder or a folder or a social folder. If you search your email, and if you're having a problem, give us someone can walk you through it, but we will make sure we get that. I would actually search for the Market Watch group as the sender, and that should pull it up. But like I said, we'll make sure but I'll send the Market Watch. You got it. Exactly right. Okay, speaking of Market Watch, welcome everybody to the Market Watch Group weekly opening bell Thanksgiving week extravaganza. I'm very excited. Both of my children arrived home from university yesterday, so the pack is back together at the house for the week. My name is Scott. I'll be your host. Welcome to the weekly opening bell. Here's the disclaimers, and here is the agenda. So we're going to look at the opening futures and the news, just kind of see as we come out of our weekend posturing and come away with an improved posture on the market. We still want to make sure we understand the fact that we do see the market in a somewhat overbought position, and would love to see a true, downward day or two, three consolidation before a new window comes, but it might not come that way. It's not always just neat and clean and tidy. So yeah, sometimes we've got to be ready for a breakout or a continuation, because it might not give us. Apple's a great example. It might not give us that backwards consolidation that we would really like to see. We'll look at the calendar and what our posture was for anyone who wasn't there. If you're carrying any open trades, I wouldn't be shocked if you still had some bullish trades that were still pushing. If you do have those open trades, my thought would be I would expect that you would want to have taken some profits already. If you haven't taken some, you'd be thinking about taking some. And tightening up stop losses, right? To consider that the end is probably near for any short-term upward trades. We'll watch the opening range and just kind of think about the implications. I'm curious to see the futures look a little bit, we'll see them in just a second, but looked a little bit back and forth. Early week shopping lists, we did identify a number of things that were at least starting to pull back or had pulled back, and so there are opportunities there. And then we'll talk about this week's trading plan. Good morning, Bob. Good to see you. Okay, let's dive into it. Uh, we can start here. If you haven't been watching, this is one of our tools that we keep an eye on. We are at basically 100%. And now you'll notice, let me get my drawing tools out. These are your probabilities. 99%, 99.8, no change. 0.2%, ease. It's like I told you, the second, like literally the second, everyone's like, that's it. The Fed's done raising rates. The next breath, somebody says, well, when do you think they're going to cut them? Right? Like, it's just, no rest for the Fed. They've got to just continue moving forward into whatever's next. Okay. But as of now, we are moving forward under the assumption that the Fed is done. And that when is this? This is about a month away, maybe a little less now. Only 3 weeks and change. We'll get the last one. Did I say good morning, Bob? I can't remember if I did. If I didn't, good morning, Bob. All right, let's take a look at the futures. So they were negative overnight, and then they popped up, and then they pulled back. So the futures right now up 0.08 for the S&P, up 0.06 for the Dow, 0.09 for the NASDAQ, full 0.25% for the Russell, which we have said that we've seen a bit of momentum there in the Russell. Oil is up 2.5% today. That's still some volatility there where we're like, oh, it looks like oil settled down. All of a sudden, smashes higher. Gold, silver, precious metals are down. What do we see? There it is. First article. Stock steady as focus turns to Fed rate cuts. That's what our focus is turned to? Cuts? I don't know. I mean, certainly people would like to think about it, but Microsoft on pace to hit all-time high after hiring Sam Altman. All right. You can see what the talks are about. Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple. So there's a lot of tech in there. Macy's, Target. What do we have there? Sounds like consumer discretionary with a retail focus. That's been in our purview. What else? Elon Musk in the news again, interestingly. That's about it. Let's look at the economic calendar for this week. Today, U.S. leading economic indicators, there's nothing there. Fed President Tom Barkin, nothing there. Tomorrow, home sales and minutes from the last meeting. Maybe the market starts to look for signs of if and when they might do some cuts. I wouldn't expect to see it in the minutes, though. They're basically cementing the language that they're done. Jobless claims will come on Wednesday today, or this week, because Thursday's closed. Still down in the low 230s. There's no concern there. Consumer sentiment looking to go up a tick. Market, now remember, on Wednesday, regular day. Wednesday will be a regular day, but the volume will definitely drop off quite a bit. But regular trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, other than the fact that I would expect volume to start to diminish. Thursday, market is closed Friday. Now remember, with Friday, half a day. On Friday, the market will close at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so it's going to close 3 hours early. As such, our meeting will be pushed up by 3 hours. So we will be meeting on Wednesday. Our meeting time will be 12:15 on Black Friday. It is the official Market Watch Group Black Friday extravaganza. I can't say extravaganza. I already called this the Thanksgiving extravaganza. It is the Black Friday, Market Watch Group Black Friday Festival of Market Goodness. Friday, 12:15 p.m. You don't want to miss it. That's our agenda. Not much going on though, right? And so what happens? We start thinking, oh, there's not much news. Oh, there's going to be light volume. It's going to be a gimme week. Don't expect that at all. A light week means easy to push. So if the buyers come in and they ramp it up, there's not a lot of opposition. I have seen some very, very big moves around this time. Bob, thank you. Thursday night, however, there is no foundations course. I will be in a turkey coma, laying on the couch asleep. So there's just no way for us to meet. All right. What else is happening today? Let's go take a gander for those who didn't see it at our posture. So long term stayed the same. Friday is 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, you got it. The last 45, and I will send an email about it. Long-term trend stayed the same. No change. Short-term improved, quarter of a point, and we said there could be an argument made for half a point. On the volume, we did get a half of a point. We had less selling volume. We had old selling volume get more stale, and we added a buying day. And without any volume at all, if there is average volume all this week, which I would expect there's likely to be average or less, I think that my volume score will still improve a quarter of a point. Will still improve a quarter of a point come Monday or come this next week, because we're going to have 2 more bad days drop off. And if you don't add any new bad days or add any new good days, it still shows a shift in that conviction measurement. Major market improved. The NASDAQ continued moving into a leading position. Sector rotation stayed the same, but I'll tell you what, even there, we've got 5 groups right now: technology, communication services, consumer discretionary, financials, industrials, across the board. There's our opening bell across the board. That's broad-based strength right now. The VIX improved and I think, shows a lot of strength in an argument. What I was telling people on Sunday was, if I just grabbed the VIX for the first time, I'd probably assess it 1 or 1.25. I'm assessing it at a 0.75 because I'm sticking with my scoring mechanism of assigning points based on specific technical accomplishments, not necessarily, right? So I figure, well, it'll get there in another little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if that one. So we could be at a 4.5 in the matter of a week or two. This thing has shown a lot of recovery. We are now 3 straight weeks of improvement, right? There's plenty there for us to be more excited about. Okay, let's go take a look at the opening. And we are flat, 0.02% higher. We opened down a little bit. We came up a little bit. We'll see what happens. Remember, we're going to give it the first 20 to first 20 to give us an opening range. That'll give us a chance to go through our watch list, and we'll see where everything puts us. Okay. Let me know if you have questions, comments, or concerns. Energy definitely going to be hottest this morning. I agree with that. With oil up 2.5% and everything else opening somewhat flat. Yeah, I would say that's true. Okay. Let's dial back out. From this perspective, though, you can see that we're really grinding against some old resistance here. Bumping it from this level here. If you look back here, you might think, well, it did get a little higher. Well, it started higher on one day, but by the time that day finished, you'll actually notice that in this range here, this white candle closed at the highest level of these other three. This one closed down here. Actually, this red candle and this white one closed at basically the same place. That is where I see resistance right there. And if you look at my line extending across, you'll see that it touches another point right here. And then all the way across, it's touching right here. I think we're at a pretty heavy resistance level. It's actually back in this area as well. So I think it's going to have a very difficult time of popping up to this 458 to 460 level. That's the next level up, right? This is the next level up. It'll have a hard time getting there without the volume, I think, but it could. Certainly it could. So we have to be thinking, okay, well, what if it does? What if it just kind of meanders up? Here's the VIX, so we have an idea of that, and then we're going to go to our watch list and just kind of create. You can see the VIX is just sort of hanging out down here. In fact, today, even though the market is a little higher this morning, so is the VIX. Right? The VIX is actually up a little bit, not a lot. And again, I'm thinking if this thing does go up for 2 or 3 days, the VIX might only go up to 15 and a half up in this area. Great. We just have to see if that's what comes. All right, let's go through the watch list. Watch list is looking pretty good these days. Actually, you know what I think? Let's do a quick. We did one search yesterday. I want to go to financials. Or not, I'm sorry, not financials, industrials. And make sure that we have strong industrial representation. We do have CPRT. We used to have PCAR and FLR, but we got rid of those. Oh, look at GE. Looks like it broke out. I actually wondered if we would see, there it is, Boeing down here. Boeing has busted out and is looking to try. So yeah, you've got a few things. Union Pacific Railroad looks okay. Upwork, I don't think Upwork is industrial. That's an interesting characterization. Upwork is a website for freelancers. Yeah, you've got railroads and you've got making airplanes, and then you've got some freelancers. Not very industrial. I'm just saying. What do you think? Add GE to the list and maybe GE and I kind of like the thought of a railroad. Let's add a couple. We'll put Boeing, GE, and UNP. That'll give us just a nice little smattering. We added some financials yesterday. I'll make sure that I update the watch list this morning. The watch list is linked in your emails in the welcome doc. So if you want to go and make sure that what was the last one I said? Got distracted. Boeing is in UNP. UNP. Okay, we got a few extras. Let's go through the list and just kind of see how things are looking. Agilent Technologies. Did I just put that on my watch list? That does not look familiar to me. I did something. That was on me. What did I do? Was I putting a different one on and didn't type it all the way in? Well, I did not mean to, and I don't think I love the way it looks. It's about to report earnings. Nah, I'm getting rid of it. Okay, let's start with Apple. Just won't slow down, right? This is what I mean when I say, I don't know. Something like this would be very difficult for me to want to put on, because even if I thought it was going to the high, I'm down to about 5 points. I'm down to about 5 points, and my thought would be, what do I risk 2.5 to make 5 just to see if it catches its high? I think there's not much I can do on that, but just wait. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Why is my watch list not functioning? Adobe. Okay, this is an example of what exactly I'm talking about. We have to decide with something like Adobe, do we believe this was the consolidation? You kind of got this a little bit here, right? As this was coming down and it sort of hooked up, and then this came down, and this is the movement, the momentum of the sellers. And what has it done? The whole time it's been going higher. The whole time. Yeah. But what's happening now? It's turning. Look at this. Now it is early. We're only 9 minutes into the day, and I am not going to make decisions in the first 20 to 30 minutes. Really, I'll probably wait until the end of the day, because I know that we've seen plenty of times where the first half of the day was like, oh, we're doing all right. And then the second half is like, oh, here comes the sellers. We still need to see the opening range, but this is something that we have to be prepared for, is that you might see stocks that show this while this is coming down. And then all of a sudden, you'll notice we got that turn right here. Whoops. We got that turn right in here. And this thing seems to be turning out of the flag pattern. Yeah. Yeah, we have to be we have to think, is that valid? It's not as clean as other signals, but certainly it is valid as a thought process, because if this market just keeps on grinding higher, that's the kind of signal we're going to get. AEO earnings, so be careful there. There are other retails that are available to us. Aflac, we said we think that the insurance have actually eased a little, which is why we searched for other financial related. AIG, very similar. I actually think the best one now is PGR. So a lot of the okay, so the same kind of a thing here. Pushing up against its resistance, and then all of a sudden down here, your stochastics looks like it's trying to turn. So it's a weird kind of a mixed signal where we're like, well, wait, is it? Amazon has turned. A lot of these things have turned, not APH. This still looks like it might give us a consolidation. Let's just kind of go through the list. AXP is new, looks overextended. Boeing, you can see Boeing. Was this its consolidation? And now it's turning. A lot of money flowing in. BK overextended. BX overextended. Citigroup overextend. A lot of things are in that same kind of a place. Here's an oil stock. Oil is up today, 1%, but it still is at a lower high. I still feel like oil is struggling still. Costco. Oh, look at Costco. Costco is setting up beautifully right here on this pullback. Pulled back big day, pull back smaller day. Now all of a sudden we're stable. We don't have the turn, but we do have the candle here. This is one I'm definitely, I think, whatever ones are matching the criteria that I like to look for, which is this, I'm gonna definitely latch onto because this looks good. Copart pulling back a little bit, but it was already starting to pull back a little on Friday. We'll see what happens there. Not much there in CrowdStrike right now. Dell is valid. You're not getting as good of a signal. We started looking at Dell back here. We actually used it as an example on Thursday night, right? And you can see why we liked it because it's starting to turn. You have some time here. Okay, the Dow. Everything's pretty flat this morning. If we don't get a lot of, oh, see, there's another one. There's another one. EA, this is in communication services. Here's our little consolidation. And you can see it looks like it's pinching and maybe trying to turn. That's definitely one we should be considering. Fastenal, not yet. Gold. I don't really look at Google. Google's having a good pullback. I like that. That would be something we could trade. Gap is overextended, but just kind of pausing. Home Depot, a little overextended. IBM, a little overextended. Yeah, I still feel like we just need those just a couple of days. ICE, this is a capital market from the financial sector. That looks good on the pullback. Intel continues to be overextended. Our watch list is good, though. I feel like we have a good range. We have a number of good looking stocks. These all trade good options. If you haven't gone into that detail, I promise you that you'll find these tend to be better. But gosh, look at JP Morgan overextended. That's new for financials. KKR overextended, new for financials. There's some strength in there. Look at Meta. Meta looks like it's trying to turn and break new highs. This looks valid, man. I mean, right? Look at this. This is our consolidation right through here. This is trying to break out of it. This stochastics is turning up again. If we get above here, where's resistance? There is none. It is blue skies. Whoops, that's a straight line. Pretend that you see that. Meta on the list. Microsoft. Nvidia reports earnings tomorrow after market. So be careful there. PDD continues to show strength, but nothing there to trade. PGR. If I'm going to do one, I think PGR did make a new high just last week. Pulled back, stabilizing at a higher low. If it turns, you can see it's trying to turn. If I get a candle, that's a maybe. PLTR overextended. PNC rolling over, coming on back. 125, would love it. Would love it at 125. QQQ just kind of grinding higher. RCL, this is consumer discretionary, pushing higher. Starbucks was identified in the chat. Amazing identification. Couldn't agree more. Just hit a new high. What does that mean? Strong. We love strength. A lot of people struggle with 52-week highs. They're like, oh, it's at its highest point. I'm like, well, yeah. Hell yeah. We should love those things. The commentary was good. Does anyone think Starbucks is getting ready for a trade? My answer would have been hell yes. Well, hell yes, I do. Steven agreed. He says it does look like, just not quite. He said, I'm looking for it to drop between 100 to 103. Yeah, I would 100 to 100. So there's 100. Oh, 100 maybe a little low. I see where the 103, like right through maybe this midpoint of these two candles. I would say I would put my range at maybe 102.5 to 104.5. We're close, you and I. My range is just a little higher because what I don't want it to take out this low right here. Right? I don't want it to take out that low. But it's definitely sliding on back in. It's getting ready to enter that range as it slows down, and you can see the slowness, right? Look at this big day. You're like, oh, that was a big red candle, but look at the volume. Does that make you look at this and think, oh my God, the sellers? No, it's like, oh, those sellers don't seem to have much. So, well done, Discord group this morning. Kudos. That's my way in. That's exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. Sandy, gold star for starting it off. Steve, thank you for continuing the discussion. Suzanne, glad you can make it on. Suzanne, if you had any specific hangups as you were getting on, send me a message and let me know. And what I'll do, my son is my Discord admin, so I'll be like, I need better instructions, make them better. That's what'll happen, and I'll yell at him too. Don't feel bad. He needs to be yelled at. They're still children. They say they're adults, but they're not. They're still children. I know this because they're fully dependent upon me. Okay. Let's keep going. Starbucks. Yes. Put Starbucks on our list. Shopify, overextended. There's nothing we can do with that. We hate when things get overextended. I want classic pullbacks. I don't know why the market won't just give it to me. Just give me a classic, just a small, nice, steady pullback. It sits for a minute and then it turns. Come on. That's not that much to ask. I don't feel, not at Thanksgiving. Here's the SPY. Okay, so we've pushed a little. Here's our opening range. We made this positive. How do we determine? Look at that. I say the opening range as press ask an opening range question. For me, it's 20 minutes. So literally, that's the bottom of, oh gosh, that's not straight. Hold on. Hold on. So literally, this is the opening range right here. This is our opening range. For me, it's 20 minutes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. After 4 candles, I take the top of those candles and the bottom of these candles, and this is my opening range. Right? So we opened down here, the buyers pushed it up and then pushed it up and then pushed it up, and then the sellers, and now the buyers are making another run at the top of the range. Now, if they break it, that's pretty bullish. And actually, I would expect us to have more of a bullish day, at least a bullish first half of the day. But if it can't break that and it holds, and then we come back down in here, and then we do something like this, we might see this thing come on back down. And if it does this in the second half of the day, if it does this, then I would actually expect it to give some back. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope that makes sense. That's a press. If you ever decide you want to do some day trading, the opening range is a very strong day trading methodology where you're looking to day trade as it decides which way it's going once the opening range is established. Some people do 15 minutes, some go as high as 30. So right now, it hasn't broken yet. We still have 3 minutes on this candle. So don't think, oh, it broke, Scott. Well, it's got 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And you know, let's just be patient and see if it has for sure broken it or not. Okay. If we ever hit a period where the VIX is above 25, right? High 20s or more, that's when swing trading is significantly harder. And day trading is much more lucrative. So when the VIX is elevated and stays elevated, I do significantly less amounts of swing trading, and I will definitely do more day trading. When I day trade, I use the opening range to help me just sort of get my bearings and decide where and how am I going to trade. So yeah, let's see. We got 1 more minute. We'll see if this thing breaks. You can see the volume has really started to dry up now. Now that we have all the overnight volume playing out. Very minimal. This first candle, 1.3 million. If we go back to Friday's first candle, oh, it's about the same, about 1.3. Okay, I thought it was a little light, but maybe not quite yet. Okay, Tesla. Tesla looks like it's setting up to me again. Nice consolidation, starting to stabilize, right? We have this pullback coming back down here. Now it seems like it's stabilizing. If this turns and this gives us just a little bit more strength, that's our support. Stop level underneath here. Target maybe up here at this next resistance level. Bing, 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 bing. That's what I'm looking for right there. Tesla looks good. We have setups, even though some things look way overextended. We have some things to consider. UBS is not one of them. UNP starting to be, right? Starting to be. Visa looks strong, but at resistance, kind of almost like a cup and handle type pattern. There's the cup. What do we need? I need the handle. The handle is what gives me the higher low. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. The handle could come back to here. Bam, that's the handle. What's significant is if I break the top of the cup, I really expect this thing to pop. So I do like seeing those types of setups and patterns. Okay, the VIX is all the way back down to the lows, but only to the lows, right? We'll see if we push through that or not. Williams Energy, that's the best one, and it's not doing great. I just don't think energy has a lot to offer right now. Walmart. And Walmart is trying to figure it out. It's holding this support. I talked about this. Someone asked with Gap, when Gap was way high, would you trade to the downside? I said, no, I need to see more. And it's the same thing with this. This is the same. This is Gap to the opposite. It gap down. It's holding. Look at this support. That's pretty strong, right? Could somebody make a case for that trade and just be like, hey, you know what? If it recovers, I can take a, if it gets to 154, I'm out. Take $2 of risk and have a tight stop. Yeah, sure. It's not the trade I'm going to take, but could you make the argument and just say, hey, it's at a strong support level? Yeah, of course we could make that argument. Here is energy. Like I said, it did bottom here, and it does look like it's trying to bust through its consolidation. But I would need it to break through the consolidation, then come back down, and then I would be like, oh, okay. A little bit of a reversal type situation. That was the first higher low back here. The rest of this was just kind of grinding sideways. Then it's a higher low, and then another higher low, and then another higher low, and then another higher low. And even there, you got one. That one didn't get a higher high, but all of these trades, boom, 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 boom. That's what we're looking for, right? These, hopefully you're seeing the pattern for entry that we're trying to identify, right? Some of them are easier than others, but look over and over again. I want you to see what it is that we're looking for. Yes? We don't have that right now. There's nothing there. So, okay. Almost done here. Give me just a second. Financials, pausing. Industrials, pausing. Staples, pull back, then bounce. You got it. Higher low, let's go. That's the philosophy. Higher low, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I would say this. There are signs. There are trades. If you started putting a trade on today, I think we will see some signals. A lot of things are overbought. Some things have consolidated. My concern is if we trade something that is giving a signal now and then all of technology pulls back, it could come with it. So you just have to be ready to trade through that if that's what comes. Okay, our trading plan section this week. We are working on risk management. I put in, if you got yesterday's email, I added the other 2 videos. There are 3 videos that accompany risk management. So you can watch all 3 videos. I'm going to do the same thing all week. All 3 video links will be there. And you can watch those and get section 4 defined. You'll know what portfolio heat is and trade risk. You'll know what considerations you should make. I go through great detail. On each of those different characteristics, what your thought process should be, how to go ahead and start defining it. So you with the videos that are specific to each section and the Trading Foundations course, you should have plenty of support in helping to define your different aspects. All right. Woo! First day of the Thanksgiving week extravaganza is in place. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like we're going to get some signs, some signals, some trades on. We're going to, the goal is this. We want to start and have profitable trades going on Friday while we're shopping for Black Friday. So we feel a little bit better about it. Nothing better than Black Friday shopping with profitable trades going. That's the objective every single year. All right. We will have class tomorrow evening, 8:30 p.m. We are talking about post-trade assessments. So what is the step-by-step routine you take when you close a trade? I don't care if it's a winner or a loser or a break even. You close that trade. then you close that trade, then you go learn from it. That's what we're going to be talking about. All right, listen, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow evening. As always, happy trading.